So here we have the program we created the other day that just writes these simple combinations of one adjective and one noun, like fast mountain or red mountain or smiley grass. Let's make this a little bit more complex. Let's make it like a longer sentence. And to do this, you can maybe take a paper and a pen and try to imagine which kind of sentences the computer could write. Right now we have sentences like happy tree, for example. So here we could add at the beginning an article, for example, the happy tree, or one happy tree, or this happy tree. So let's add here a list of an array of strings. This is gonna be articles. I'm gonna call it art equals, then the curly braces, the semicolon at the end, and here we can write some articles like this, that, one, the more words you add, the more variety you will get. So it's good to, you can go, there's websites where they list nouns and adjectives and verbs. So you can use a search engine and find words that you can type into these lists. So okay, now we have this sentence here, like this happy tree, and it would be good to add a verb like runs or smiles or was thinking. So let's add a new category here for this string, open and close square brackets. We'll call this verb. I'm gonna reduce the length of these variables, the name. So I'm gonna call it all with 3 letters, like no from noun, adj from adjective, and I will change it also here, noun, adjective. And so these verbs, we can type here runs, or is thinking, was flying, observes. Okay, later we add some more. So we could already make sentences like this happy tree is thinking. Instead of adding here more of these variables that choose a random word in the list and then printing, we could make a function that does this. So we could have a function, for example, write word, and then we send there just one list like art. So we are sending this array into a function. It's much shorter. Then the function will take care of choosing a random word from inside this array and then print it somewhere. So let's create up here our function, our void write word. So this is the function we are calling here. This function is receiving a parameter. So we have to put something inside these parentheses. And we are sending an string array. So I can copy this and paste it here. And I have to give it a name. So I will call it words. Whatever I receive as a parameter is gonna be stored in the variable words. And for now, I could just print the length. Println words.length. We saw in the last episode that when we add .length to an array, it's returning how many elements this array has. So now our write word function does nothing more than just print how many words this array contains. So I could use here write word adjective, and then the program will be printing how many adjectives do we have. But there is a little thing that's not gonna work. It doesn't work because processing has 2 modes. Either you use functions or you don't use functions. And we are using here a function, so all the rest of the program should be also inside a function. We can put this inside our setup. Void setup, and put everything in the curly braces. I'm gonna hit Ctrl+T to auto format the whole thing. You can see that processing was now changing these lines. This used to be 1 line and now it's 3 lines, but it looks more clear this way. So what happens now? Now if I run the program, I'm here having a colon and it's a semicolon. I run the program again, and now it's telling me that I have 4 articles. Is that true? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 8 adjectives. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's working. So now I can improve this function so that it would print one of the words. So instead of printing the length, I could print a word. For example, word 0. If I type here word 0, it's gonna print every time the first word. It's not what we want a random one, but to get started, it's a good example. So now it's printing this happy. And it will print this happy every time because there is no randomness, it's always 0. So now we can copy this thing here, the way we used to choose a random word. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here on top. So I'm declaring an integer variable n, and I'm saying that this is a random value, but we don't want 6. Actually, we want words.length. So this will work in every case. Sometimes we might be sending 3 words to this function, or we can send 100. It should work on every case. So we get a random number between 0 and the amount of words. We convert it to integer, and now we have in n a random number, a random position in these words. So now I just type here n. Now I have the effect I want. I print in a random word from this list. Let's see it working. I run it, I set 1 rotating, and I run it again. It says, this unbelievable. Okay, that's starting to take shape. And now if I write more words, or write word, we have an article, an adjective, a noun, and a verb. And I run this. What do we get now here? It says, this infinite grass observes. Okay, that starts to be already cool. And we can get rid of all this stuff down here we're not using. For now, we're just printing our text down here. And what else could we add to our sentence? Here it says, this happy tree is thinking, and we could add a preposition like besides, or in front of, or above. And then we could repeat another article, another noun, another adjective. For example, above, one smiley ocean. So we have here one preposition. We have to make a list of prepositions. String, square brackets, pre equals. I'm gonna use the format processing used. So I'm having now this in 3 lines, and here I type above, inside, behind, in front of. Okay, so now we could print a preposition after what we already have. We have article, adjective, noun, verb. That was the same like here, an article, an adjective, a noun, and a verb. Now the preposition, article, noun, adjective, and noun. So I'm gonna say here, write word, preposition, write word, article. I can copy this, adjective, and noun. I can add some spaces so you see that these parts are repeating. Article, adjective, noun, article, adjective, noun. And I can remove this ln, so we get all the sentence in one line. But the problem is we don't have spaces. So what's going wrong now? I wrote here wrote word is right word. Okay. Okay. We have some lack of spaces here. I'm gonna print a space. So I can type double quotes, space, double quotes, and now we'll have a space behind the word. And now there's the sentence, the fast forward is thinking in front of one red sky. And the elastic forest runs above that smiley forest. I recommend that you add more words here to these lists. If the words don't fit in one line, of course you can keep typing here, but it gets very long. So you can just hit comma and then continue in the next line with another word. For example, intelligent. And then you continue here, comma, shy. Just add a lot of words. I will do that on my own. And in the next episode, we see how we can write this text nicely on the screen.